Well, 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 well. If it isn't the consequences of my own actions. Today I thought I'd go over what I read in the month of May. Believe it or not, I strayed from my TBR. And you would think I would just stop making TBRs. I would stop saying what I'm going to read this month. But I'm not. After this video is probably going to be what I plan to read in June. But I can actually trace this back and figure out what was going on. So for the month of May, it was my birthday. I had a great birthday, got sunburnt to all hell. Like, I think I discovered hell because it burnt me that badly. Blistered and everything. It's fine. I have since recovered. I had a great time though. I don't actually know how I got burnt so badly in one particular spot besides maybe missing it. I digress. So I started Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. I'm enjoying it thus far. I don't have much to say. Similar to the Assassin's Apprentice or Farseer trilogy, I can tell this is going to be a slow build. It's Robin Hobb style. It's what they do. It's what they're known for, is character stories. So I'm slowly getting invested. I know in my hearts of hearts I'm going to love it. Or I really want to. So I still have all the optimism for that series. Now let me tell you what put me in a slump. So one of my most anticipated releases, Book of Night by Holly Black. I DNF'd. I tried to read this book literally for 2 weeks and I made it to page 60. I don't want to harp too much on why I didn't love it, specifically because I feel like it's not really enlightening reasons. It's nothing that I can even like have an angry tirade about. It was just boring. The writing was boring. The characters were flat. The world was similarly flat. It just felt, I think sometimes everybody who falls in love with a teen reader as we age, we get excited when they have their first adult release. Sometimes I'm trying to figure out how to delicately or how I want to phrase it. But like, let's just chalk it up to I can't figure out the best wording. But with as much intention of good, I say that not every writer needs to transition out of YA. I felt like this is the perfect example of why it's okay to just stick to what you do. It was simultaneously so immature and so boring at the same time that it put me in a reading slump for, I can't even tell you, for most of the month of May. This killed any inclination I wanted to read. But that being said, I then turned to my Kobo. My trusty Kobo, in which I keep a lot of romance kicking around. And through that, I wanted to read It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line, and Sinker, both of which I binge read, and I think I read them both over the span of a few days, and I really loved them. Basically, we're following two sisters. Book one follows the older sister, book two follows the second sister as they are kind of exiled by their stepfather and sent to a small town where they need to make ends meet. And by that, I literally just mean they have to get a job. And it's devastating to them, which is hilarious to me. And it was just a lot of fun. The summer was just upon us this month, and it was just perfect peak timing for that book, for both of those books. I would recommend it so much. It's secretly like a lot spicier than you would expect. Like, it looks like it's going to be wholesome. The sound, the synopsis, it all seems like it's just going to be a super wholesome romance. That's my guinea pig eating his treat. Okay, momentarily had to take his waffle away. Anywho, finally, once I pushed through both of those books, I felt myself right on track again. So next, I picked up randomly A Court of Mist and Fury. I have not reread A Court of Thorns and Roses. I hate Tamlin. So I hopped right into what I knew and loved, which was Rhysand and Feyre, and I had a great time. I had such a good time with it. I think I read it in the span of like 2 days. When you're in a slump, just turn to what you love. What like a wild train of emotions this month was for reading. So I had a friend message me early in the month about the fact that a book came into the store I used to work at, and they thought I had read it or had spoken about it. I believe it was before I even had this channel. I read it when it was self-pub, and they were asking if they would like it. I was extremely judgmental at the time, and I was like, listen, it was a fun time, but it was corny. The dialogue was a little bit too much for me. The romance was a little too bullying for me. So like, just be aware of that going in. I'm not saying don't read it, but it may not be for you, because for me, it was a little bit gray. And then it came into my store, and I had forgotten my book that day. So during my hour-long lunch, I happened to pick it up. And what book is that, you might ask? Zodiac Academy. This is a polarizing book. I feel like everybody knows that. Nobody needs to be told that. But I haven't read this book. Let's see when it was published. It was published in 2019. I haven't read it since 2019. And picking it back up, I think my threshold for smut has just trash? No. My threshold for corny has just it's like drinking wine. Like, you have to build and broaden your palate. My palate is broadened. I now love this series. In fact, I love it so much. I read book 1, which I already owned. I then bought and read book 2. And I bought and read book 3. In this span of 2 days, I read all 3 of these books. I read book 1 and 2 in a day, and I read book 3 in about a day and a half. And I kid you not when I say I have not picked up another book since I've ordered book 4 and 5. And I'm realizing now that I probably should go ahead and order book 6 and 7, because I'm not going to want to read anything after I finish 4 and 5. I've had such a good time with these books. The best customer I can think of, the best reader, the best eyes, the best people to pick this book up. If you love Holly Black's Cruel Prince and you also love Sarah J. Maas corniness, you put both of those ingredients together and bake that cake, you are going to get the Zodiac Academy series. I'll briefly tell you what it's about if you haven't heard about it. So we are following 2 Gemini twins. Don't at me. I know nothing about astrology, but it does play a part in the Zodiac Academy. So we are following a set of twins as they happen upon the fact that they are fae. And in this book, at the age of 18, you sort of have an awakening, and you are coming into your powers, you're coming into your house. Think like Harry Potter, but like more violent and sluttier, like slutty Hermione, slutty Potter. It's slutty Malfoy, just sluts. Promiscuity abound, violence aplenty. Take that Harry Potter world, make it fae, make it Sarah J. Maas, with a dash of a lot of Cruel Prince. Like a lot of Jude as our Tori. Anyway, so both of the twins We have Tori, who's like, she's more spunky. She is kind of the fighter of the two. When we are introduced to her, she is stealing cars and motorcycles and whatever to resell to make rent. And then we have Dory, who is the sweeter of the twins, who is trying her best to help out, but maybe deception doesn't come quite as naturally to her. Standing up to bullies and standing up for herself doesn't come quite as naturally. And they are kind of accosted by this man who tells them, like, y'all are coming with me, whether you like it or not, because you're Fae. And then they discover that they are heirs to the Fae Kingdom. I'm not pitching it well for someone who binged 3 books in 2 days, but I really had a great time. And when I tell you, if you are a Cruel Prince fan and a Sarah J. Maas fan, I have found your new favorite read. I say that with such confidence. Like, I back myself on this one. I've sold out of them in store because I keep shoving it into people's hands. Like, it's just, I love it. Even if you liked sort of the middle grade Keepers of the Lost Cities, the Shannon Messenger little middle grade series, I really would say this is an adult but make it slutty version. Which, like, I'm 29. So that's really fun for me. And that's all I read for the month of May. Sorry, this is a very informal video. I actually wasn't planning on filming it, and then I realized it was June 2nd, and I haven't filmed in a while. Actually, I filmed a vlog, and then I accidentally deleted all of the footage. Because I'm a professional. So. Anyways, that is all I read for the month of May. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video, when I set up my next TBR and tell you what I'm going to read before I inevitably stop reading everything I tell you guys. I think this is kind of a fun trend we're setting, though. It's fun for me anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.